Sorry about that, Haga. I'll give you as much alimony as you want, you poo thing, lol. The president of the company is the wife, you know. My name is Caroline. I've been married to Bennett for 2 years now. We're both working so hard that weekends are about the only time we can have a proper conversation, but we get along well and go on trips abroad once a year. When we got married, we decided to build a brand new house and splurged on a mansion. I'm satisfied with our life now. I have a best friend from high school named Nora, and we occasionally go out for lunch together. Nora has high standards for men and is still unmarried, but she really wants to get married, especially since she won't compromise and wants to find someone with a high income she has been looking for a while. Hey, can I come over to your house next time? Right now, I'm having lunch with Nora for the first time in a while. We've both been busy and haven't been able to meet up much, only keeping in touch through calls and emails, but today both of us had free time. Nora has been my best friend since high school, and we've shared all sorts of advice with each other. We had good times and bad times together, but it all feels like happy memories now. After I got married to Bennett 2 years ago and got busier with work, I didn't have much time to see Nora. My husband typically has weekends off, but due to the nature of his work in the sales department, working on weekends isn't rare depending on the client's schedule. With my husband busy with work, I was left to figure out how to spend my free time alone, until Nora contacted me, leading to today. Sure. It's close from here anyway, so how about we have tea at my place after this? Really? I'd love to go. After getting married, Bennett and I built our house, but I mostly met up with Nora outside, so inviting her over was a first. After deciding to go to my place, we finished our lunch and headed home. As soon as we arrived, Nora was amazed. Wow, this is such a mansion. Amazing. When we decided to build our house, we went all out since it was a once-in-a-lifetime purchase, making it larger than an average family home. It's still new, so the interior is clean, and Nora seemed to really like it. We splurged a bit since it's our own house. It's so spacious and beautiful. Must have cost a fortune. It's a big purchase, but it's our home. Cost us about $1 million. Nora's eyes widened as she said, $1 million. Is your husband's salary that high? Nora has always had high standards for men, especially when it comes to income. I guess that's where her question came from. My husband's salary. Well, I guess it's on the higher side for his age. I tried to answer without going into specifics, to keep it vague. Huh, I see. Looking back, I think that should have been one of the first red flags. Without me noticing, Nora smirked behind my back as I went on to prepare tea in the living room. Hey, since I'm here, I'd love to say hi to your husband. Can I stay until tonight? Nora asked, smiling with a teacup in hand. There was no reason to refuse, so I agreed. Yay. Where's the bathroom? This way. I showed Nora to the bathroom and waited for her in the living room. In the meantime, I sent an email to my husband letting him know Nora was here and that we were planning to have dinner together. Then, after a while, Nora returned holding a bag, which on closer inspection turned out to be my bag. That's my bag. Oh, I got lost after coming out of the bathroom and ended up touring your house. Then I found this. Hey, this brand is super expensive, right? Can I borrow it for a while? Please. There's not enough distance between the bathroom and the living room to get lost. I figured Nora wanted to see the house, but the bag she was holding was supposed to be in my bedroom. I wasn't happy about her entering my bedroom without permission. But I didn't think it was worth making a fuss about, so I reluctantly agreed to lend her the bag. All right, but make sure you return it. It's a gift from Bennett. Of course. Got it. Later, feeling a bit concerned, I went to check the bedroom on my way to the bathroom. There was no sign of it being ransacked, but it seemed like the closet had been opened, with bags and shoes slightly scattered. I decided to give Nora a gentle warning when I returned to the living room. Hey Nora, you went into the bedroom, right? It looks like you went through the closet too, but I'd prefer if you didn't do that. When I looked Nora in the eye and spoke, I saw her eyebrows twitch for a moment. You're right. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Thanks, I appreciate it. While we were talking, Bennett came home. Since I had already told him Nora was visiting, he brought home a cake as a special treat. I'm home. Welcome back. Thanks for the cake. This is my friend Nora. I mentioned her in the email, but how about we all have dinner together tonight? Nice to meet you, Nora. Caroline has told me a lot about you. Of course, that sounds great. Nice to meet you too. I'm sorry I couldn't attend your wedding, but I'm glad we can meet like this. Nora couldn't attend our wedding due to illness, so this was her first time meeting Bennett. After that, we had dinner together, and after the meal, we served the cake Bennett bought with some tea. Nora's friendly personality made it easy for her to get along with Bennett, and the evening ended on a pleasant note. About a month later, I noticed a change in Bennett's behavior. He would avoid my gaze during conversations and spent more time on his smartphone. Eventually, he even took it with him to the bathroom and shower. It was a clear sign of change. I considered looking at his smartphone, but I felt that wouldn't make me feel any better, so I decided against it. However, Bennett's actions were following a classic pattern of someone hiding something, and I couldn't help but view him with suspicion. As time went on, our conversations at home became less and less frequent. Moreover, Bennett started working on weekends more often, and he was rarely home. It's like we led separate lives. One day, I came home to find a completed divorce form on the table. Though I had anticipated something like this might happen, it still shook me to see it in front of me. I immediately called Bennett. I just got home and saw the table. What's this about? It means exactly what you think. I want a divorce. I knew something was off, but tell me why. I've fallen in love with someone else. So, you've been cheating. No, it's not cheating. I've really fallen for her. It might seem like cheating to you, though. Any way you look at it, this is cheating, isn't it? Does she know you're married? She knows, well. Bennett hesitated uncomfortably. Just as I was about to suggest we meet and talk it over in person. Hello, Caroline. It's me. I recognized a voice on the phone, taking over from Bennett. Nora. Yes, it's Nora. Bennett and I are together now. And we want to get married. Hearing those words felt like a heavy stone had dropped in my heart. My heart raced, and an incredibly uncomfortable feeling seemed to choke my throat. What do you mean? Married. Bennett is my husband, you know. I fell in love with Bennett the moment I met him at your house. We exchanged contact information and started talking. Then, one thing led to another. That kind of relationship. What are you thinking? I felt a surge of anger, emptiness, and sadness all at once, struggling to find my voice to confront her. I do feel bad, you know. But, hey, it can't be helped. We were meant to be. I have you to thank for introducing us. Nora said she felt bad, but there was not a hint of remorse in her tone. In fact, judging by the tone of her voice, she seems defiant. I could never forgive the betrayal of a friend I had been close with since our school days and my husband. You don't really feel bad, do you? Put Bennett on the phone. Bennett says there's nothing more to talk about. Can you just sign the divorce papers quickly? How can I be okay with this without a proper conversation? Tell him to come home. That's impossible. He's living with me now. There's nothing to talk about, right? You just need to sign the divorce papers. Whether Nora was trying to provoke me or held some grudge against me, her calm response only fueled my suspicion and irritation. Just put Bennett on the phone. My shouting had no effect on Nora, who replied with a laugh and a dismissive tone. Haga, whatever you say, it's not happening. Bye. Holding the phone after she hung up, I stood dumbfounded for a while. The sleepless nights continued, and Bennett did not return during that time. The divorce papers on the living room table seemed to be waiting for my signature. Nora, with her intentions unclear, sent me several photos of her and Bennett together, perhaps to show how close they were. This only added to my mental anguish, eventually affecting my work, so I decided to consider divorce more seriously and consult a lawyer. I had a lawyer acquaintance and decided to seek advice from them. I quickly made an appointment, met with the lawyer, and explained the situation. The lawyer listened intently to my story, which had clearly taken its toll on me. What would you like to do? I responded more decisively to the lawyer's question than I had expected. I'll get a divorce, but I want them to face consequences. That's understandable. All right, we'll make sure to claim a substantial amount in damages. With all the evidence they've been sending you, we'd be foolish not to use it. Yes. I'll claim damages from Bennett and Nora and end this cleanly. Please take care of it. Leave it to me. And I might be overstepping, but please make sure to eat well and get enough rest. Take care of your health. Thank you." After speaking with the lawyer, I decided to take the necessary steps to move forward. Time heals all wounds, they say, and I'm starting to look forward again. I'm now able to eat meals I couldn't before, and sleep without issues. The only thing I'm losing is Bennett. I have nothing else to lose, and no troubles. Having gone through this, I'm sure something good is waiting ahead. This thought gave me strength. Then, a few days later, Nora contacted me. "Are you still holding on to the past? I want you to hurry up and get divorced. Completely unapologetic, aren't you? Are you crazy? I'm preparing for the divorce, so tell Bennett." Huh. That's a lie, right? You think Bennett is going to come back to you? I know what you're clinging to. It's Bennett's income, isn't it? Huh. His income. Yay, he's a CEO with an annual revenue of $5 billion. You hid that from me because you knew if I found out, this would happen, right? Bennett is a CEO with an annual revenue of $5 billion. Don't act like you didn't know, lol. That's why you could afford such a mansion. Bennett told you that. Exactly. He told me everything. So hurry up, sign the divorce papers, and move out of that house. It's going to be mine now. Too bad Bennett won't be coming back to you, lol. I'll give you as much alimony as you want, you poor thing, haha. Nora unilaterally said that and hung up the phone. That call made it clear why Nora targeted my husband. This call from Nora was the catalyst for the cooling of my feelings towards my husband, and I started thinking about life post-divorce. The next day, I felt a sense of relief, as if my mood had cleared up. In a way, I might have Nora to thank for that. The selfies she sent today of her and my husband only disgusted me. I shared everything she sent with my lawyer. My health improved, and I managed to recover from the disruptions to my work, finally returning to my normal routine. All that was left was to settle things with Bennett and Nora. My lawyer acted as my representative and sent a certified letter to Nora and Bennett. We just had to wait for a response. A few days later, a reaction came immediately. "What are you thinking, sending a certified letter to the company?" Nora was outraged, her angry voice echoing. "So, you harassed me without being prepared for the consequences. I was just sharing the happiness between Bennett and me with you. It's not harassment, huh?" "No, it's definitely harassment. Oh, and from now on, please talk to my representative. Goodbye." Wait, I hung up the phone. Knowing she was sufficiently rattled gave me a bit of satisfaction. Nora continued to call, but I never picked up again. Bennett also called, and when he realized I wouldn't answer, he sent emails complaining. He was being scolded by his parents after they found out about the affair because the certified letter was also sent to his parents' house. He pressured me to tell his parents that the contents in the certified letter were not true, trying to make himself seem innocent. My disdain for my husband grew. After that, I returned home one evening, had dinner, took a bath, and went to the bedroom. Something felt off. Upon opening the closet, I noticed some of my bags and jewelry were missing. All of them were brand name items. There was only one person I could think of as the culprit. Are you kidding me? She stole as well. I immediately informed my lawyer, who said we needed evidence to pursue this. As I pondered over the evidence, I remembered installing security cameras as a security measure when we built the house. I had forgotten about them since we rarely used them, but upon reviewing the footage from one of the cameras, it was clearly recorded. So, I decided to check the other surveillance cameras installed throughout the house. Then, to my astonishment, the security footage showed Nora stealing luxury brands from my house over several days while I was away. I was horrified. To think I had been friends with someone like this was frightening. The next day, I took the video evidence to my lawyer, who was appalled. This person is quite something, stealing openly from someone's house. This will definitely serve as evidence. However, this is a separate case from the divorce, being a crime. Is that okay with you? Yes, please proceed thoroughly, lawyer, I said with a smile, almost eerily calm about it. Why should I hold back after being treated like this? Let them take full responsibility for what they have done. I will do so, but I do recommend changing your house locks. The liar's advice made perfect sense, so I changed the house locks that same day. I ignored the barrage of calls from Bennett and Nora. When they showed up at the house, I didn't hesitate to call the police. After that, they stopped contacting me. A few days later, my lawyer informed me they wanted to negotiate a settlement. He asked my opinion on what I wanted to do, and I said I would be open to discussion with a lawyer present. I didn't have the time to drag this out and wanted to settle things quickly. The lawyer arranged for a meeting at their office, and we decided to discuss the issue there. On the day of the meeting, Nora and my husband barged into the room, flinging the door open. "You finally show your face, you coward. Stop it, Nora. Because this guy has been nothing but evasive. Because of that, our marriage has been delayed, you know," Nora shouted upon seeing my face, looking like she was ready to hurl something at me. My husband was desperately trying to hold her back next to her. Seeing the two of them after so long, I felt pathetic for even engaging with such people. "Please, calm down. If there is any violence or verbal abuse, we will immediately report to the police. Understand?" The lawyer managed to calm the situation, and Nora and my husband finally took their seats. With everyone present, the discussion finally began. "You're seeking a divorce, correct? We agree to the divorce. However, given your relationship was an affair, we will be seeking damages. Any objections? As long as you agree to the divorce, anything is fine. But after paying the damages, I want to cut ties completely. Ma'am, is that acceptable to you?" "Of course. I have no interest in continuing any relationship here." I spoke calmly, and my husband seemed a bit shaken. But that no longer mattered to me. Next, regarding the amount of damages. As the lawyer was about to discuss the damages, Nora interrupted. "I said any amount is fine, right? We have tons of money, haha." Nora crossed her arms and spoke arrogantly. Hearing this, the lawyer adjusted his glasses with a quick motion. "Doh. Tons of money, is it? Yes, haga. Aren't you a lawyer? Didn't you check? Listen, Bennett is a CEO with annual sales of $5 billion. A little affair compensation is nothing to us, haga. We'll even give you a fair share of the assets, haga. Your salary probably barely covers your living expenses, right?" Nora said this with a bold laugh, causing the lawyer to burst into uncontrollable laughter. Nora's face turned sour at the sight. "What's so funny? Are you mocking me?" As Nora was visibly shaken, the lawyer, wiping tears with his handkerchief, finally calmed down. My apologies. I see. That clears things up." The lawyer put down the handkerchief, looked at Nora, and smiled. "The CEO is actually his wife here. Her husband is just an ordinary employee there." "What?" Nora's perplexed reaction was met with a dismissive snort as she crossed her arms. "The lawyer hired by an idiot must be an idiot, too. Open your eyes to the reality. Did Caroline lie to you, saying she was the CEO? Poor thing. That's on you, actually. Did you even verify that was true?" The lawyer turned to my husband, who was visibly pale. Seeing his reaction, Nora, perhaps feeling insecure, began to press my husband. "What? You said you were a CEO with annual sales of $5 billion, right? You weren't lying, were you?" My husband said nothing, just looking down, pale. As he remained silent, Nora's complexion began to match his. "Answer me. You weren't lying, right? You said you were a CEO with annual sales of $5 billion. Answer me." She shook my husband's shoulder, but he only muttered an apology. "Sorry." My husband's apology plunged Nora into despair. She trembled, turned towards me, and stood up, slamming the table. "That's a lie, right? There's no way you're the CEO. I was closest to you, so there's no way I wouldn't know." As Nora, standing and accusing, turned her gaze from the downcast Bennett to me. So, I decided to enlighten her with the reality. Just because we're best friends doesn't mean I share everything. Especially not salary details. And being close to you made me aware of your greed for money. That's why I had no intention of telling you. Looking straight at Nora without averting my eyes, I told her the truth, and she couldn't hide her turmoil, and collapsed into her seat. "So, that house is. Of course, it's in my name. So the one leaving is Bennett. Well, he's no longer my husband." That comment seemed to hit hard, and Nora fell silent. "We will be requesting a reasonable amount for damages." The liar's words seemed to fall on deaf ears, as both Nora and Bennett remained silent. Next, regarding the theft, the liar proceeded calmly, regardless of their reactions, which was satisfying to hear. At the mention of theft, the two finally looked up. Theft, yes. You entered the house while Nora was away, and stole several brand name items, didn't you? Nora bit her lower lip when confronted about the theft, something even her husband seemed unaware of, and was visibly shocked. What theft? I didn't. I don't know anything. Despite her attempts to feign ignorance, the liar presented photos from the surveillance video. Seeing them, both were speechless. What is this? Surveillance footage. Surveillance cameras. Nora apparently hadn't been told by her husband about the cameras. Well, if she had known, she probably wouldn't have stolen so boldly. Bennett covered his face with his hands and sighed. Our house has surveillance cameras. We installed them for security after building the mansion. Why didn't you tell me that sooner? I didn't think someone would break in to steal. Plus, you stole the keys from me, right? I thought I had lost them. But I wanted those brand name items. You wouldn't buy them for me. The two started arguing like this. Both the liar and I sighed in exasperation. Please save your arguments for later. We will proceed, and regarding the theft, we plan to file a police report. That concludes our discussion. Hearing police, Nora visibly panicked. Police? That's excessive. I just borrowed a friend's stuff. You won't really file a police report, right? I never said you could borrow them, and I no longer consider you a friend. Yes, I will file a report. After all, I was robbed. I'll compensate. I'll pay for it, so please, not the police. Really? You'll compensate? Do you know the brand name items you stole from me are worth several K? Are you sure about that? Plus, there's the matter of damages. Hearing this, Nora turned to Bennett, seeking reassurance. Hey. Even if you're not a CEO, you work, so you can pay, right? It's okay, right? Nora's words were met with Bennett's silence. He doesn't have the means to pay. He's been continuously absent from work without notice and got fired. What? I mentioned he worked at my company, right? Ever since he started the affair with you, his absences increased, and I received reports. We can't keep such an employee. No. But there's the division of assets. That will cover it. That won't be possible. Why not? Shared savings from a marriage are part of the division, right? Don't you know that, being a lawyer? Didn't you hear anything from Bennett? You said he told you everything, but you missed the important parts. Convenient story, isn't it? The lawyer then smoothly presented a document. As a prenuptial agreement, if the marriage lasts less than 3 years, neither party will seek division of assets. You're currently in the 2nd year, so this applies. Nora grabbed the document, crumpled it, and started trembling. What's this piece of paper supposed to mean? That document is a notarized deed, so it has legal force. But just because there's no division of property, it doesn't mean Bennett doesn't have any assets left. Saying this caused Nora to grimace with a forced smile. So, that's okay then. Bennett, you have some savings, right? So, we'll be fine, right? The face of Nora clinging to the last straw of hope was not the face of the friend I once knew. No. You kept spending, so there are no savings left. Nora collapsed to the floor at my husband's words. I felt no pity seeing her like that. She had reaped what she sowed. That concludes our discussion. Please submit the divorce papers promptly, and Bennett, you need to pack your belongings and leave the house. That will be all. Whether Nora and my husband heard the liar's words or not was unclear, but the liar and I left the two slimed figures in the room as we made our exit out of the room. I left the rest to my lawyer and went home. The divorce was finalized successfully. With the lawyer present, my ex-husband packed his belongings and left the house. I received a few emails from him saying that he wants to get back together, but I completely blocked them. I cut off all contact with my ex-husband and Nora. After losing his job and savings, my ex-husband seemed to have moved in with Nora, who also got fired from her job due to the theft incident. They desperately looked for work, but only managed to find one-day labor jobs. While they got paid daily, Nora, not good at saving money, continued to spend lavishly, leading to rent arrears and eventual eviction. The incident became known to their families, and both were disowned by their parents, leaving them unable to return home. They lived in a decrepit apartment with shared bathroom facilities, paying off the damages while working part-time jobs. I heard from a classmate living nearby that they are sometimes seen at public showers, looking unrecognizable with tattered clothes and unkempt hair. As for me, work is going well, and I joined a tennis club for adults as a new hobby. I like finding new ways to improve myself while getting moderate exercise. Half a year after the incident, I went on a solo trip abroad, where I met a wonderful man, and we are now dating. This experience, though not easily forgotten, has led me to the present me, and thinking about it, I might have made the right choice to be this happy now.